Got some challenge problems I want to review with you. The following order of operations. Anytime you're doing order of operations, it's a good idea to write PEMDAS on the top of your paper or for each problem, just so that you can remind yourself what you should do first. Okay, so this first one, and again, if you want to just copy down these problems, stop the video, work through them, and then start the video again to check your work, that is fine with me. Number one, this is a, well, there's a lot going on here. Let's identify the different operations. We've got, well, this line going through, that tells me that's a division problem. We also have addition, this is multiplication, and this is subtraction. So 4 different operations occurring here. Now, if we look over here, we don't have parentheses. Well, we do have parentheses, but this is really, there's no operation within this. So this parentheses is basically a multiplication problem, 5 times 4. So that could be a little misleading. We have no exponents. Here's our multiplication problem. Here's our division problem. Now we can solve the multiplication problem, but notice we can't divide until we figure out what's on top, this top part here, and then this bottom part here, okay? We need to figure out those 2 quantities before we can divide. Okay, let's go ahead and rewrite. We're going to solve this, and then we'll add, and then we'll go ahead and subtract down below. So I'm just going to rewrite it. 15 plus 20. 17 take away 12 is 5. Okay, so we've really kind of made it look a little smaller, a little more manageable and less scary. So now we're going to continue. 15 plus 20, that's going to give me 35 divided by 5. Now I can go ahead and divide. So 35 divided by 5 is going to be 7, because 7 times 5 is 35. I wanted to show you this problem because I know when I talked about the order of operations, I didn't show you this type of problem where you've got this number over another. It looks like a fraction, but it is a division problem, and even though division comes before addition and subtraction, because of this setup, we have to evaluate these quantities before we can divide. Let's move on. Number 2, looks like we've got a set of brackets and parentheses, but again, like the first problem, these parentheses really indicate that we're multiplying 2 times 3, and over here 3 times 5. So remember, we want to evaluate what's inside these brackets before we multiply that number to 4. And remember, in the last video I mentioned that if there is no operator, there's no symbol here showing you the operator, you can assume that that's going to be multiplication. So this is 4 times the quantity of 2 times 3 plus 3 times 5. Let's go ahead and figure out the inside part. I'm just going to rewrite the 4 in the bracket. So 2 times 3 is 6, and 3 times 5 is 15. And again, we're condensing it a little bit. It looks less scary. Again, we have to figure out what's inside of those brackets. 6 plus 15, that's going to be 21. So I've got 21, and that's going to be times 4. Okay, 21 times 4 is going to be 84. Okay, this last one looks like we've got multiplication and an exponent, addition, division, subtraction, and another exponent. We've got all the operators showing here, plus exponents. So again, we're going to look at our acronym. We don't have parentheses. We have to evaluate our exponents before we can do multiply, divide, add, or subtract. So here I've got an exponent and here. So I'm going to rewrite everything else 5 times and 3 to the 4th power. Now I don't have that memorized, so I'm going to go ahead and off to the side multiply 3 4 times. Well, 3 times 3 is 9, and I'm going to go, so I bring those down, and then I've got 9 times 3, well I know that's 27, and then I have to multiply it 3 more times. So I'm going to write that over here. That's 21, 6, 8, 81. So 3 to the 4th power is 81. Plus 16 divided by 8 minus 2 squared is going to be 4. I already have that memorized. Okay, we've gotten rid of our exponents. Okay, we don't need that. Now we've got multiplication and division. Okay, so this is multiplication and this is division. Alright, so we're going to ignore the add and the subtract. We're not going to do any adding or subtracting in this round. So 5 times 81, and again off to the side I'm going to just multiply 81 times 5, and I get 405. Okay, plus 16 divided by 8, I know that's 2, and then minus 4. Okay, so I took care of my multiplication and my division, and then I just brought down the other information. So right here I've taken care of multiplication and division. Now I have addition, subtraction left, and remember when I have that I'm just going to go left to right. So 405 plus 2, that's going to be 407, minus 4, which will give me 403. Okay, that wraps that up.